Crow, the chief economist for NAHB, gave a presentation to the Builders Association of Greater Boston in late January at our annual forecast dinner. And he started out by saying, I have some good news for you and I have some not so good news for you. He said, the good news is 2009 is over. Now, I don't know how many people have heard David Crow speak on Tuesday, because I understand he had the same introduction at that time. So hopefully some of his projections are going to be improving as time goes on, and if not his introduction. But I have a little bit of a twist on that today, and I'd like to share with you a billboard that I saw last week on the Mass Turnpike. Apparently it's part of a national billboard campaign. Has anyone ever seen this? Okay, it says, Recession 101, interesting facts about recessions, they end. I think that's probably a good mindset for a lot of us to be in at this point. The question I want to raise with you this morning is, are you prepared for the recovery? There was a session earlier today, it happens to be the title of a book that I wrote that came out at the end of last summer. But it's one of the questions I want to talk about today. I think Ed raised some very, very good points about the technology and how we can use technology today to really help us, to help you as you move forward. I'm going to talk a little bit, before I give you some examples of some of the things that some experts are doing around the country in sales and marketing, I'm going to talk to you about process and strategy, which I think is very, very important. There's an article that came out in this past Monday's edition of the NHB newsletter that talked about 2/3 of Americans say that now is a good time to buy a home. This happened to coincide with roughly the same number of people who back in 2003 said the same thing. So I think there's some pent-up demand there, but I think there's more and more positive news occurring in the media. There are certainly some more concerns about additional foreclosures and that type of thing, so I don't want to paint a totally rosy picture. But clearly, I think now is an opportunity for you to take a look at your marketing, your sales programs, the technology that is available to us now, because it is a whole new ballgame. The last time that we had a good housing cycle, the kind of technology that Ed's talking about really wasn't being used that much. And if you want to lead the way in the future into the next housing upturn, I think you seriously need to consider that. And I'm going to show you a few things in a minute that's going to reinforce that. I've got a handout in the back of the room that actually talks about what I call a 4-step process to the recovery, how to help you increase your sales in 2010. The first step, and I absolutely believe it's the foundation of everything, is market research. You need to know why your buyers have bought in your community, why they do business with your company, why they buy your products or services. You need to find out who your competition is, and how do you compare to your competition. And market research is something that has to be done continuously. And then also understand your customers' motivations for buying. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in some detail in a minute.